Right, now this will tell us. And that's pretty conclusive. Still going. Close. I think he got it down.
How strong is he?
Welcome back to the Pick and Go podcast, your one-stop shop for all things rugby union. And right now it's all about Super Rugby. And, whoa, surprise, surprise, as Cilla Black would say, surprise, surprise, Piri Weepu's in the bloody studio. What?
That's a great surprise.
Where you been now? What?
I've been trying to catch up on work. Tangies and things like that. So, yeah, finally caught up on everything. And I'm fit to go.
Okay. Well, that's
apart
good.
from my picks. Anyway.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that. Don't worry. We'll get to that a wee bit later. And, of course, joining us once again up north in the big smoke, a good friend, Ben Searle of Searley Talk Sport. Searley.
How are we, mate? Can we talk about my picks from the weekend? That was, yeah.
Yes. Oh, no, we'll definitely get to your picks, Searley, because, wow, you were hotter than Sydney Sweeney, to be fair, with your Super Rugby picks in round one. I just hope you can continue that sensational form. But as I said, we'll get to that a little bit later. First of all, I've got a question for both of you. So we'll stay with you, Searley. After the first round of Super Rugby, is rugby super again? Is it super duper?
Yeah, it's super duper. It's super califragilisticexpialidocious. It's whatever you want to call it, mate. It was entertainment galore. Every game ticked every box. As a neutral fan, you found yourself watching teams that maybe sometimes in the past you wouldn't have watched. That Waratahs Highlanders game. Obviously, you always watch the Landers, but I found myself at times cheering for the Tars just because you want them to be strong this year for the competition. That Moana Force game was gripping. I think there was 64 points on average in each game. The highest winning margin on average was 5 points. Two of them went down to the last play. It wasn't exactly like the defense was bad either. It just seemed like the game was so sped up. The ball and play was higher. Teams were letting the ball fly. We saw some individual brilliance from guys on debut who are now becoming household names like your Carl Prestons and co. Oh, yeah, I just loved it. And Piri's multi was done on the first game, so even better.
Yeah.
Oh, so now you're a Crusaders fan.
No, only when I'm punting on them, you know.
You're Crusaders now. I hated them last year.
Oh, it was weird going in actually feeling sorry for the Crusaders and wanting them to win. Like, it was a weird mindset and a weird narrative to have for round one. But I semi did want the Crusaders to win just to get things going. But yeah, sorry, Piri, mate.
Piri, did you enjoy round one of Super Rugby?
I did. I was actually counting down the weeks of round one, to be honest. Like, hadn't turned the TV on for quite some time, and then finally got the opportunity to turn it on and watch a bit of footy. So it was good. I mean, like Shirley said, a lot of the games were actually, they weren't massive margins of wins, and each team was actually pretty competitive. You know, especially like for Moana to go to Perth and try and compete there and only to lose it at the death. But it was the same with the Tars Landers game. I think just watching, I actually, to be fair, I didn't want to miss any game. It was after the first game on with the Canes and Crusaders, it set everything up pretty well to watch a lot of footy.
I guess and there was a lot of last minute heartbreak for a number of teams, mostly Moana Pacifica, who were up 13 points with less than 10 minutes to go, and you actually picked them 13 and over in one of your multis, to be fair, and I thought, holy moly, he's found a diamond here, but they just unfortunately fell away slightly in that last 5-6 minutes. But can they take a whole lot of positives out of that game, Piri?
Yeah, I reckon they could. I mean, for them to come into the competition this year and put on a pretty solid effort against the Force and travel over there, only to be, to lose at the death. I mean, I did say sort of about 10 minutes ago, I said, like, just don't do anything stupid. You want to finish this game really well. And to their credit, they done pretty well right up until that last break. You could see them scrambling in defence, and actually, when you're trying to kill a game, sometimes you tend to do something stupid, give away a penalty, march them up the field. But they actually kept their discipline, kept them inside their half, and just made one error at the end there, which was a bit tough pill to swallow. But I think it's definitely big learnings for them to know, for them to come out, start really well like that, and know that they've got a good system running at the moment. I think it might be just that back end, might be just that last bit of fitness in that last 5 minutes of the game that might have let them down.
Searley, if we have a look at the first game of Super Rugby Pacific 2025, the Crusaders, who went down 14-0 early on and had, I guess, their discipline issues. It didn't cost them in the end, but it did cost a number of other teams. When you look at that game, first of all, were you surprised at just how well they came back, especially seeing as they lost Noah Hotham early on, and then we get their reserve halfback come in and score 3 tries?
Yeah, it was crazy. I was speaking to Jimmy Marshall on my pod last week. He was saying Cole Preston had been the biggest standout in pre-season, but didn't expect him to get much minutes, do you? Because you're behind Noah Hotham, and then he sprains his ankle. Cole Preston fresh off running a 4.12 Bronco, so he's fit. But yeah, he had a great season for the Lions, and I see now Wellington are kind of kicking themselves, the Canes, for not signing him. But yeah, I was stoked to see him get an opportunity, and he certainly made the most of it. A couple of those tries were possible try of the year contenders straight out the bat. That one where he scored under the sticks off the back of a crossfield chip there from Sevu Reece. I was more surprised, to be fair, at how well the Canes played. And I know Piri and yourself, staunch Hurricanes fans, so perhaps you saw this coming the whole time, but I thought they were going to struggle a little bit to start the season until they got some troops back, just because they're missing so much experience and some quality All Black players in that forward pack too, which I thought might have been the killer blow to start their season. But I was really impressed with how they started, and they stayed in this game against a Crusaders side that I expect to be good. James O'Connor too, shout out to him. I did not expect him to have an impact off the bench for the Crusaders, but I think he potentially changed the game as well. Just silky ball playing.
I'm glad you bring up James O'Connor, because there have been a number of big off-season signings for a number of teams. Of course, O'Connor with the Crusaders, Artie Savere with Moana Pacifica, the Tars picking up Joseph Suali'i. So if we have a look, move on to that Tars game against the Highlanders. And now, discipline did cost the Highlanders in this one, Piri. The Tars just getting over the top of them in a high-scoring affair. But if you look at that game, first of all, Suali'i, a good start to his Super Rugby career.
Yeah, I think he'll be happy with it. I mean, he played pretty outstanding over the India tour for the Wallabies, and only for that come back to this in competition and continue his form. So yeah, if I was him, I'd definitely be happy. I think the whole second half, it was a nail biter, because Landers will score, and you think, oh yes, let's carry on, and then straight away the Tars actually answer the question, and then Landers get another try, and so it was tit for tat, and it was actually really good footy to watch, rather than one team blowing out and the other team sort of trying to play catch up. It was actually keeping people on the edge of their seats material. So it was a good game to watch. I think majority of the games over the weekend was pretty much like that.
Well, no team won by 13 or more. So I know it's a small sample size, only one round into the season, but it looks like it's going to be a lot more competitive. It doesn't really look like you're going to get an easy game anywhere, really. Searley, if we move on to the Drua, and we know that they had a fortress last season in Suva, and they only just went down once again, a wee bit of discipline. And also they did struggle against that sort of 5-meter line out where the rolling maul sort of destroyed, as did Moana Pacifica against the Western Force. So if you have a look at the Drua, still a lot of positives to take out of that game.
Yeah, for sure. And they were missing a couple of their best attacking talents and players too. So it wasn't exactly their full strength side. At home, you'd love to see them kick off the year with a win, although the Brumbies, we all expect them to be a top 4 side. So if you are going to drop a game, at least it's to a team that you expect to be right in the hunt come semi-finals time. Like you said, that rolling maul D, tough to defend, and I think the Brumbies are probably the team in the competition that have executed that so well for so many years. Whoever their hooker is, you can always chuck them on the anytime try scorer bet, that's for sure. But yeah, well done to the Brums. It's not easy to go over there and get a win. They were down a couple troops as well. I think I saw it was the first time all Aussie sides won in the same round since 2018, albeit the Reds had the bye, but that right there could well be validation that 4 teams is the sweet spot for the Australians.
If we move on to Saturday night at Eden Park, and it was a rematch of the grand final last season, Piri, and the Blues came out strong, but boy, oh boy, the Chiefs fought back and D-Mac was on fire. And if you triple pointed him in fantasy rugby, you were absolutely flying. So Chiefs looking very, very good at this early stage of the season.
Yeah, I think the Blues showed a different style of footy that they've not used to, but a smash and bash, but didn't quite work out for them as much as they anticipated. I think the Chiefs' defence was pretty solid, although they did let those 2 tries in, but I think their discipline throughout the course of the game was pretty good. And then bringing on their subs, I think that might have been the game changer. Bringing their subs on and D-Mac getting pushed into 10 definitely helped out in the back stages of the game, but it was a game you didn't want to miss. Definitely wanted to be there.
Searley, that was a brave move by the Chiefs to basically have almost an all-black bench. But in the end, it proved to be a winning formula.
Yeah. It's an interesting one, right? You could look at it from 2 ways. Was it reward to the lads that have been in pre-season since mid-November, and the All Blacks had only come back 2 weeks before, played limited minutes in the pre-season game, so they were easing them back in? Or was it more a tactic as in first game, you expect the first 40 minutes to be tight because there's still a bit of rust and teams working out the way they play, and then you inject that quality off the bench in the second half, and that gets you home when fatigue is a massive factor. I thought the Chiefs forward pack was great. It's going to be interesting to see how the Blues adapt throughout the year. Obviously, no Hoskins in that game, no Akira Ioane. Last year, they bullied forward packs, strong, aggressive ball running. That's 2 probably of their best ball runners in their team gone from that team. Hoskins, of course, is coming back, but geez, they missed them on the weekend. I thought they got better around the corner, and at times they got out physical too, which if you'd said that last year, you would have been incredibly surprised. And the fact this was the biggest winning margin in round 1, like if you'd told me Blues Chiefs would be the biggest points differential out of the first week, I wouldn't have believed you. So a great result for the Chiefs. I think they snap a 5-game losing streak at Eden Park. And I know from talking to a few of the boys, they wanted that one. They wanted redemption. All off-season, the forwards have been told to put on weight because they got bullied in that final. So perhaps it just meant a little bit more to them than it did the Blues off the back of winning a championship.
Yeah, if you're a Blues fan, I wouldn't write them off just yet. It's not often a Vern Cotter coach team gets bullied, and he'll be working on that he'll be working on it right now and throughout the week, and I'm sure we'll see a much more physical game from the Blues in round 2. The last game, of course, was Moana Pacifica travelling to the western side of Australia to take on the Force, and boy, oh boy, what an absolute barnstorming game to finish it off. Heartbreak for Moana Pacifica, Piri, but they can look back and go, well, we went toe-to-toe with this team, and if the bounce of the ball, or if we make one more tackle, we walk away with a win. And obviously, Artie Severe has had a huge effect on that team.
Yeah, I think in general, I think Tana's done a great job in terms of trying to pull them together and possibly get some structure done right. And then on top of that, obviously, like you said, Artie's appointment as captain and trying to help this team, guide this team around, is definitely going to set them up for a good year. I mean, it was a great start by them at the start of the game, and then obviously they just sort of in that back end of the first half allowed the Force to get back in, and then pretty much the same in the second half as well. Did the exact same thing, and then allowed them to creep back into the game. But I mean, I definitely wouldn't be disappointed if I lost like that, because I see it as a stepping stone for them to moving forward, that they only got a few things to get right as opposed to a massive bunch of things that they need to get right. But yeah, I could see Artie was trying his hardest at the end there to try and sneak in and get a famous steal at the breakdown, and he looked like he was gassed. But yeah, I think those boys definitely put through everything out there on the weekend.
Searley, Moana Pacifica, they've got a home this season, a proper home. So that's going to help them big time. But when you look at that game, are you also, I guess, happy with how they went and, I guess, enthused with how they might go for the rest of the season?
Yeah, they don't just have a home. They have a home at the home of rugby, North Harbour Stadium, QBE, the dog pound. Woof, woof. So you can straight away see some of that mana flow into the Moana Pacifica performance. But yeah, this is a game, right, because it's on the road in Perth. Like, this is a decent result. If this one was at home and they'd lost to the Force by 1 point, I'd be a lot more gutted and a little bit more worried. They're up by 13 points with 5 minutes to go. I want to apologise. I had a multi riding on them. This was the final leg. I had Moana to win, paying $21. Put it in all my group chats, did the early crow, you absolute beauty, and then ended up with egg on my face. My phone lit up. I was watching the All-Stars game, missed the end of this one, and I knew catastrophe had struck. I got about 15 messages all at once just saying heartbreaking scene. So, yeah, I did the early crow. This loss is on me. Apologies to the Moana lads, but they look like a team that's going to cause some upsets this year for sure. Just how bad they wanted to win this game fills me with hope that they're going to have an improved season for sure.
Right, I've got another question for both of you. There are a number of professional golf tournaments around the world, and we can have a look at the Live tournament in Adelaide just over the weekend. We can look at the Waste Management Phoenix Open on their par 3 16th, the party hole. I think it's the par 3 12th in Adelaide for the Live tournament, another party hole. Could rugby incorporate something similar, Searley?
Yes, it's not easy to do, is it? Because rugby's an 80-minute game. Golf, it's so easy just to be like, this is the party hole. Like, you can't have a party scrum or a party line out in the 50th minute, can you? Where everyone just loses the plot. But I think the closest thing that we could do was the sevens in Wellington. And unfortunately, that didn't quite pan out or have the longevity. It just got ruined by the powers that be. I was thinking like a pre-season sevens tournament between all the Super Rugby franchises, do it in like a Dunners or Christchurch during O Week, have some money up for grabs for the teams that win it, similar to the Tens, what they used to do. Could be a cool way to see some young talent coming through the Super Rugby franchises. You could chuck some international clubs in the mix too and make it like a World Sevens club thing. But yeah, I don't know if people would get around that much. I saw the Blues had a bar on one corner of the field on the weekend. That's probably the closest you can get to. Or we just go all in chasing the fox, turn that into the party.
How did you miss that one?
Yeah, what? And just invest more money into chasing the fox.
What, the party hole at the chasing the fox?
Yeah, we're trying to get another invite to that, and you didn't even plug it. How can we invite if you're not plugging us?
Well, I said professional golf tournaments.
Yeah.
But it could be more rowdy too. That party hole, we could make that Live Golf. We could make that your Phoenix. You know, let's go all in on the party hole this year. You got the world's best caddy carrying the bags for Piri Weepu, and you know it's going to be a party.
It's just that it's a shame that the golfer wasn't as good as the caddy.
Hey, I was giving you some dodgy advice. Hey, you're only as good as your caddy.
Oh, yeah, I'd probably say the sevens would have been our best one here. Or we could go back down to Queenstown and do the sevens. We used to do national
sevens down there. Yep.
Down there, and that was a pretty mean atmosphere. You boys that don't score meat pies over the weekend do the old notorious undie run and things like that. But yeah,
was that a thing?
Yeah, I had to do it once. I had to do the undie run once when I went and played for Wellington, but
not just once. Tell the truth. Come on.
I managed to scab a try the first year.
Smart.
Because I knew it was coming. But yeah, I reckon this sevens would have been our best bet here. But yeah, maybe like Searley said, reckon. I mean, we could go do maybe a Super Rugby one.
Yeah,
and then make a certain part of the thing that there might be a drop kick competition, and there might be an allocated space for that. And if you've got maybe 40 meters that you've got to have a nudge, and if you don't, you'll have to drop your decks and walk to the side like you.
Or even like the sprint. Like you could have the sprint then. Yeah. You could have the fastest guy from each team. You could do it like a full showcase weekend to combat what your NBA All-Stars and all that do. Do it at the start of the season when the lads are fresh. Put a couple $100,000 up as prize money so that the teams want to win it and they stack it, even though we've got no money in rugby at the moment. But hey, you know, get some investment in Saudi, all of them.
I like it. I think have 100-meter and have a 400-meter race. So you get players like Roygaard would really come into it over that.
Or a Bronco. Have a Bronco live.
Or for 4x100-meter sprint relay.
Oh, yeah.
But you have to have 2 front rowers.
Yeah.
Looks
compulsory.
If we were going to do the 7 Searley, then give me as much as I can get on the Drua to win that one.
Yeah.
I'd take them 100% any single day of the week. However, stay with me, guys. I've got an idea.
Here we go.
Righty-ho. Now, remember the old days when you got sent to the sin bin? You used to have to go behind the post. Righty-ho.
That still happens at club. I mean,
at footy.
Yep. So, put a bar behind the post, right? Put a
for
bar
the player?
And then have a number of spectators. They're there, getting served. And then if you get sent to the sin bin, you've got to go behind there and serve them for 10 minutes or 20 minutes, whatever it is.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, and they spray him.
Yeah.
Get stuck into him.
Well, you could do that too. I don't mind that idea. So, yeah, if you get sent to the sin bin, not only are you off the field, but you have to actually serve the punters who are behind the goalpost. I think it's if you get sent for 10 minutes, that's all you have to do. If you get sent for 20 minutes, then you have to pay for all the drinks as well. Yeah.
Wow. I've just had another idea.
Yeah.
What about a party penalty? So it's like a power play. And when they point to the sticks, kick for goal, if it goes over, the whole crowd gets like a free beer or something. All of a sudden, everyone's riding home this penalty shot at goal because it's a party penalty and there's something in it for them. And then you get people tossing their drinks onto the field and whatnot, like at the old Waste Management.
I'll tell you what, we are really helping out.
Or what if we did the 2 points rather than kicking it? If you like in the NFL, to get 2 points, you've got to score another try. So if that happens, you've got 2 minutes to score that to get that 2 points,
like from a 5-meter scrum or something.
Well, you get one set phase. You can decide whether you want it scrum or line out. Your best play, 2-point conversion.
Yeah, and that's the party, and that's the time for everyone to write please make sure you score this so we can have a free beer.
I'll tell
and if you don't score, that whole team gets subbed off and the bench comes on.
We've sort this is
we're going from that to special teams and everything.
Oh boy, we really are helping out New Zealand rugby here. This is fantastic. Are we charging them? We should be. Anyway,
we should be.
Let's get on to some more rugby. This is getting away from us. And let's look ahead to round 2, Super Rugby Pacific 2025, and the first game up Friday night. Oh, it just doesn't get any. It gets better and better and better. Chiefs hosting the Crusaders. Bookies have the Chiefs $1.42 favourite. The Crusaders are $2.70. 6.5 point favourites, the Chiefs, and the game total is set at 56.5. Searley, just off these opening lines, are you liking anything there?
I am liking the Chiefs. I do think that Chiefs Blues game was a little bit of a step up in terms of intensity compared to a few of the others. So I do like the Chiefs here. It's going to be interesting around selections, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Do you roll out that same starting team, or do you go back to your All Blacks, arguably your best players, your best team on paper? Does D-Mac start at the back again? Because Josh Jacobs a great footballer, but we saw the impact he had in that game, albeit late, so they might stick to the same rotation. I just think the Chiefs are probably on paper the most stacked squad in the competition, them and the Blues, and I expect them to be too strong at home for the Crusaders. If this game was in Christchurch, I might have thought it would be a little bit closer. I do expect it's going to be a tight scoreline, but I see the Chiefs getting this one.
Pity, the Crusaders will have a hell of a lot of pressure just released after winning in round one. Of course, they didn't have the best season last year, so that would have lifted a bit of the, I'm sure there would have been a wee bit of pressure on them to start the season off in winning form, and they did that. Can they take that momentum and drag it into this game, or do you see the Chiefs being just a wee bit too strong?
Oh, I think it'll be a close encounter. I mean, the Chiefs did try and steal the Crusaders' move down the right edge there, but weren't as successful as the Crusaders. But no, I think this will be a tight game. I know that the Crusaders want to continue their momentum, their strike moves and their face play and things like that is looking really good. And then obviously the only downside to that is just their discipline. If they can sort that out, I think this will make for a good encounter.
Do you think this is a game where, like a Damian McKenzie, right? If you look at the playmakers on the paddock, he should be a class above him and Josh Jacob, a great combination. Will Jordan was outstanding on the weekend, but is this where you kind of see having that world-class 10 make a real difference between the two sides?
I think what they done last weekend was a brilliant start to their campaign. And I don't reckon they'll change it. I reckon they'll keep it how it is. And if the game needs to be sped up a bit more, I reckon that's when they bring D-Mac back into 10. And I think the Crusaders done a great job with their changes as well. You know, and I reckon if the Chiefs, if I was coaching, I'd keep it how it is, because I think the impact that the bench brought on Saturday was huge, and it showed the fresh legs that were flying into contact, and how dominant they were. Like we said before, that about being bullied. Fino and that coming on was huge for the Chiefs. They were getting massive gains on over the advantage line when they were carrying the ball, having them on the edges as well, and then just being able to open it up and get one-on-ones where they D-Mac and Co can just use their pace to try and get on the outside of people was a massive stroke from the Chiefs.
Right, second game of round 2 sees the Reds hosting Moana Pacifica. The bookies not showing a lot of respect to Moana Pacifica. Reds $1.18 favourite, $4.50 on Moana Pacifica, and they are 13.5-point underdogs. The total set at 60.5 here. Searley, have the bookies, have they got it wrong here?
I don't know. Reds in Brisbane, you'd expect them to bank this win. At the same time, though, they've just been over in the UK. Like, that can take a bit of a toll. I haven't seen too much of their preseason. I saw the scorelines, and it looks impressive. I think they pumped a Bristol B side by about 80-odd points. Many expect the Reds to be really good this year, and they've got some quality players in Fraser McRide and co. So I do think they'll be too strong at home. Moana second week on the road to Perth, to Brisbane. That can be quite tiring in itself. It is the Reds' first hit out in Super, so perhaps a little bit of rust there. I expect Moana to keep it reasonably tight, but I just think the Reds at home is the safer bet here. $4.50, though, head to head. It's a little bit rough on Moana, I reckon.
Piri, Moana Pacifica?
Yeah, I backed him. Well, I like a good underdog. Go over there and rough up a few feathers. But I reckon this will be a good thing for them, staying in Australia, playing 2 games away, and then hopefully that can set them up for when they return home, and play some quality footy there. And we have talked about majority over the last couple of years that it becomes a game of depth, and whether through injuries and stuff like that, if they've got enough depth for the next person to step in to do the job that the last person done. So it's going to be huge. I know they've got a few niggly injuries, but hopefully they can bolster their squad and do a good job on Friday.
Or we might just find out how deep that Moana Pacifica squad goes this Friday night. Head on to Saturday, and the Hurricanes host the Fijian Drua. Canes $1.11, the Drua $6, and they are 16.5-point underdogs. The Drua, the total is set at 60.5. Ooh, I know they're a different team at home, the Drua, but 16.5, that's a lot of points, Searley.
It is. If this game was in Suva or Lautoka, it would probably be $1.80 pick'em, wouldn't it? People would be not knowing which way to go. Of course, the Drua didn't win a game on the road last year, so it makes it a different ball game. I think the Canes would have taken a fair bit of confidence from last week's game in a weird way too, because like they were quality for the majority of that game and just fell short in key moments. So I'll be backing them. It's in Napier too. I think the locals will get out and support them big time. So I think the Canes will win this game, but yes, like I don't know if any team should be priced at $6 in the competition this year, because I just think it's going to be so close. Yeah, I can see a world where it's 13 plus, but I can also see a world where it's an 8-9 pointer, and Fiji bring that physicality and that razzle that they're known for, and they keep it reasonably close, because they'll want to prove a point too that they're not just a home side, that they can take this show on the road. So it's going to be an interesting watch, this one.
Piri, you'll have some inside information. You've probably been talking to Corey Jane, to Lomax, to a number of the boys on the team. So what's going on in camp?
Not much. I told you I've been away, bro. I've been busy.
I was going to say, I hope there's more than not much going on in the camp. That's a bit worrying, but you meant you don't know much. I'll take that then.
Yeah, I don't know much at all, so I wouldn't have a clue. But I'm pretty sure they would have been gutted about the weekend, but knowing that there's areas that they need to fix, it's not a lot, but I'm pretty sure that they'll be fairly confident leading into this game. But like Searley said, I would never have put $6 for the Drua. Maybe later on if they weren't doing so well, but we're week 2 of the competition, and they're way out there. Jesus. They're pretty handy. I guess they just need to make sure, the Hurricanes need to make sure that they just stop those offloads. As soon as they get rolling, they're pretty hard to stop, and then everyone migrates to the ball pretty quick. As soon as someone makes a break, there's usually about 2 or 3 guys that shoot out the blocks and chase down the person that's got the ball so that they can be there.
It's one of those games you want to score first, right? Because they're a team, if they get their confidence up, and I think it happens in all forms of rugby, even club, there's always these slip-up teams where if you let them get off to a fast start, then it can be a completely different ball game to if you score 2 or 3 quick tries like the Canes did last week.
Let's head down south, and the Highlanders, who were brave against the Waratahs last weekend, they're still outsiders. They're $4.20 up against the Blues, looking to pick up their first win of the season at $1.20, 12.5-point favourites, the Blues, away from Eden Park. And the total set at 55.5 as we speak. Can the Highlanders upset the Blues here, Searley, or is that just hoping for a wee bit too much from a squad that is, compared to all the other squads, the New Zealand squads, quite inexperienced?
Yeah, I think I heard someone say 22 or 23 is the average age for the Landers, right? So they're a young side. And saying that, though, we saw last year what they can pull off when they're on, and we saw it in patches of that game too. They'll probably be disappointed to lose that game against the Tars, and saying that, the Blues will be fired up to prove a point. See, Hoskins has been training. He's had a different colour bib on, so I'm not sure if that's him back or not. Don't quite know the timeline on his injury, but that would be a massive inclusion. I think this Blues forward pack would have been taking that pretty personal last week as well too. So I expect the Blues to come out fired up in this one. Really keen to see Caleb Tangito again for a second week. Ripped up, of course, last week, scored a double, didn't get his opportunities at the Blues, so he's moved down to the Landers. He'll want a big game in this one too, just to prove a point up against his old side. But I expect the Blues in a tight game, though. I don't think the Landers are going to get blown out much this year. They're a proud side under Jamie Joseph, and they've got some good young talent there. They'll be in the fight each week, just whether they can pull this one off.
Piri, can the Highlanders pull this one off, or with the Blues losing in week 1, does it make it that much harder for the Highlanders to catch the Blues napping?
No, I think they could potentially have a good crack here. I know set piece wasn't very strong for both teams on the weekend, so they'll definitely be working on that this week to get it right, because if one team doesn't get it right, they're going to be under the pump quite a bit. So this will be an opportunity for them to, basically bite down on the gum shield and the trenches, and hopefully they can get the job done. I know they had a pretty good game driver last year, which helped them. Obviously, it's not the same person this year around, but if they can get guided around the field the right way and probably get Tavatawa Nawai, get him more involved in the game, like he looks like a ball of concrete.
How good was his kicking game too? I'd underestimated that. He kicked a 50-22, and he's got a great boot on him. They used it off set piece where they'd just park it up. You expect him to run a crash ball. Opposition teams rush up, and he just puts a nice little nudge over. He's a skillful footballer, man. If he has a big year, he could find himself in Razor's calculations too, because he's been unreal for Tasman.
Yeah, and plus he's totally gone from way out in the bleachers where he hardly gets the opportunity to. He's right in the mixer now. He's in the ball of concrete to smash things up.
Yeah.
People run down his channel, they get put on their bums and stuff like that.
He's another loose forward. He had a few turnovers too. He's a great fantasy buy.
He's got the green light, yes. At the last game, well, we'll mention it. Brumbies Force. The Brumbies $1.13. Force $5.25. The Brumbies are 15.5-point favourites. Game total set at 55.5. Look, if you're going to factor that into your betting, then you can have a talk about it then, guys, because we're just running out of a wee bit of time. So we'll move on. But the Brumbies they look composed when they needed to be composed against the Drua in round 1, and I expect them to build on that. And I think they might just be a wee bit too strong for the Force. It will be interesting to see if we see any of these games go 13 and over, as we didn't see that in round 1. Righty-ho. Oh, one more question. If you hit a hole-in-one in golf, you have to shout the bar. It's like an unwritten rule. What would you have to do in rugby to then be forced to shout the bar? Would you have to score a hat trick, Searley? Would you have to...
Is that an extra rule?
It's an unwritten rule. And that some golf clubs have insurance. What, did you hit a hole-in-one?
No, my brother did.
Where?
In Moana.
Yeah, well, you're supposed to go in there, and anyone who's in the bar, you have to buy them one drink.
Like I said, I feel ripped off.
Well,
it's to bring you back to earth after you've had your greatest sporting moment. You then get the wallet just punished.
Walk into the clubhouse with your hat on and hey, you're gonna show everyone.
That's another one.
I think they might be a bit more relaxed on that one now.
Well, your brother owes you a drink.
I'm going to hit him up.
That's big time. Yeah. But a lot of golf clubs actually have insurance, so if you do hit one, then anyone who's in there will get a drink, and then the insurance will pay for it instead of you having to. Like if there's 100 people in the bar, oh boy,
Jesus,
that's a lot of pints.
Well, there's not lucky. There's not many that show up to the clubhouse.
No, there's not.
Anyway, back to the question.
Yeah, Searley. What would be the, I guess, equivalent in rugby for you to be forced to shout the bar?
Yeah, it's hard because most of the rugby ones I can think of are punishments, like no try, nudie run. We had one last year if the props scored more than the wingers, then the wingers had to shout the team as well, like in a game, because it got to a point where our props were just picking and going and scoring more tries than the backs. So that came into factor. If you missed a kick from in front, you had to shout the team, little things like that. In terms of rewards, maybe 3 or 4 tries, hat trick, or a quad of tries, and you have to shout the team. If you score the game winner, something like that. But then you get guys that don't want to do that because they don't want to shout the boys.
I'm not going to score. I'm going to drop the ball over the line.
Would have been an expensive night for Kyle Preston then.
Yeah. What about if the ref makes a call that loses you the game? Then he has to shout that team bears.
Oh, let's not involve the officials, please.
Yeah, sorry, mate.
Oh, my bad. Oh. What about a falcon? If you get falconed, like Corey Jane did against the Waratahs,
shout out Corey.
To charge it down and cop one to the dome.
Yeah.
Maybe that could be a reward for everyone else.
He might be.
He
might not be there. He'll be gone to hospital for concussion or something.
Oh, he stayed on.
Oh.
It definitely looked like he was a bit woozy. But maybe that's something we could use a falcon.
A falcon.
Because it doesn't really happen often, but if it does, unlucky your bank account's telling you, no, I got to shut the team.
Right. Let's look at the punting from round 1
let's not.
of Super Rugby. Who shall we start with? Shall we start with Piri?
Yeah, just what is it? Swipe left, swipe left.
We'll start with Piri. Let's see what he did in round 1. He had 3 bets. He had a multi, Canes, Landers, Chiefs, Moana, all to win, times $50.
Oh, wow.
He's come with the preloads. I want to know what the other buttons do now.
Yeah, I do.
He had the Canes 1 to 12, Tars 1 to 12, Moana 13 and over, 25 multi there. And then
this is pretty entertaining.
he had the Canes head to head, $25.
Yeah, I'll do it. Oh, Searley, you're missing out.
Yeah, I know. I'm jealous.
Don't forget, we had Goldie as well. Goldie said, put the whole 100 on the Chiefs head-to-head at 275. Bang. Win straight away. 275.
Where's the
ka-ching?
was the celebration?
You didn't expect us to win, did you?
No, he's not here, so...
He's not here.
He's not here. Ding. Okay, Searley, here's the good news. 3 bets, 3 winners. Now, if you listen to last week's podcast, Searley says the Canes into the Waratahs head-to-head. He then texts me later and said, I meant to say Crusaders.
Because I was saying in the previews too that the Crusaders are going to win. So people must have been so rattled when I was in like, yeah, Canes, Canes.
So he's got the Crusaders into the Waratahs head-to-head. That's a winner. And then he had the Drua plus 6.5 into Moana plus 7.5. That's a winner. And then he had he said he's going to do this every week, looking for the perfect round. He took the Crusaders, the Tars, the Chiefs, all head-to-head into the Drua plus 12.5, into Moana plus 10.5. That was paying $14.19. He had $20 on that. So after all that, Searley comes up with a profit of $500.20.
This is awesome.
Yeah, you almost hit the wrong button too, didn't you?
I was trying to figure out which one was it.
And then I had 2 bets. I had Caleb Clark into Will Jordan, both to score a try. I don't think either of them scored a try.
You weren't going to push it. I knew you weren't.
And then I had a 3-team multi, Crusaders to win, Tars to win, Chiefs to win, $50 on. That got me back 340 odd. And so I'm 291.28 up for the season. So of the 4 people who took bets last week on the show, 3 are winners. We're in the positive. 1 person is in the negative. So
What was that? What was that? Was that like a happy or a...
I didn't even push the button that time.
Where's the crickets one?
Oh,
Perfect.
right. This week,
This is a
Pity.
great addition.
Stop. Yeah, hard.
take us.
No, let's
What, Searley first?
Shirley first.
Okay, Searley. What do you do? And remember, you said you were going to do a perfect round every week. It already paid big dividends for you.
Yep, I've got one. I'll start though. I've gone with a try scorer multi for $50. I've gone, assuming he starts, Cam Roigard to score against the Drua, and then whoever starts at hooker for the Brumbies against the Force. I'll go those two in a multi, $50, both anytime try scorers. Then my other $50 is the perfect round multi again. I'm going Chiefs and Blues head to head, Reds and Brumbies 13+, and the Hurricanes -4.5 point start. That gives you $6.30. And yes, I've said the correct teams there, so you shouldn't have to receive a late text from me.
There we go. That's fairly simple, straightforward. Doesn't look too much out of left field. Pity?
I've changed my mindset this year. I've stopped going far and wide. Although you could argue that 5-leg multi is pretty leery, but yeah.
Oh, I guess we're not going to see any wicked wingers or centres of attention.
Oh,
They could be coming. You never know.
I'll have 25 for hang on. After their rolling maul on the weekend. Oh no, they left their attack on the edges there. Oh, I wonder if Devry will get the start.
Boy, oh boy, did he score a few tries? Jeez.
Yeah, I'll go 25 on Devry to score a double.
Score a double. I'll tell you what he was paying last week to score a double. I think it was $19. $19.
And then I will go with Landers head to head.
Ooh.
25 on that. And then I was going to put Moana 50 head to head.
Oh,
Ooh.
Well, I need to try and make some money so I can get out of the bloody negatives. Wow.
Alrighty. Here we go. I'm going to have one bet. And, oh boy. I'm going to take Moana Pacifica plus 13.5 into the Drua plus 16.5. $100 on. Easy peasy. Done.
he's flipped on the Canes already.
No, I haven't.
Exactly.
What? I have not. I didn't say Drua are going to win. I just said they're going to make it an exciting game for those heading to Napier to check it out.
Last time you did this, what happened?
What happened?
Wasn't it the All Blacks game that you...
That you jinxed.
Exactly.
What? Yeah. No, I didn't jinx.
Load up on the drawer.
I didn't jinx. It's Ineos.
Hang on, I can't change my bet now. No.
Ineos have jinxed the All Blacks.
Oh, pay your bills, eh? Pay your bills, Ineos.
Ineos wants Altios. Come on.
Oh.
You can't do that.
Play the crickets.
Fair dinkum.
What else is there?
Oh, should have played that.
That was a better one.
All right. We better get out of here.
Say the joke again, Paulie.
Yeah, do it again.
Ineos want Altios.
Yes.
We're going to have a lot of fun with this.
Oh,
What a note to leave on.
Brilliant.
we better get out of here. And don't forget, if you're going to have a go, head to the promotions page, tab.co.nz or on the TAB app, because the promotions team are always coming up with a few nice promos when it comes to the rugby. So, yeah, always check there just to see what's going on. Piri, what are you up to this weekend?
Kids have got flag finals, or semis finals, tossing up whether I go along to that.
Where's that?
Just in Puri. And then I'm entered into a Nationals spearfishing comp.
Ooh.
And Sunday, my girl plays in the Nines League competition.
Are you allowed to tank with spearfish, or you got to go?
Yep.
Yeah.
Lungs.
Oh,
That's the tank.
That's the tank.
No tanks.
Okay.
Just free diving. So yeah, it'll be. I don't think I've entered that one before, so it'd be cool to try and get along to it.
Awesome. Pity.
Yeah.
Searley.
Yeah.
Yeah, Piri, what else are you up to this week?
I'll make up after this one.
Yeah, I'm laying low, mate. I'm going to Vegas on Tuesday next week. I'm a week out, so.
Lucky bugger.
Unbelievable.
Oh, it's for work, boys. It's for work. I'm going to be flat out on the tools.
On that ticket.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do we get on that ticket?
Well, our phones might be broken. Message from Albert.
So does that mean we won't have Searley on the pick and go next Tuesday?
Well, he's leaving Tuesday next week.
Well, but it'd be Tuesday night, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so I can do it next week. I can do it next week, and I'll be taking my kit to Vegas. If you want a live correspondent from the blackjack table, I can throw some odds at you.
Taking the sticks over there. Any nice courses over there?
Mate, we had a look. It's about 500 US for a swing, and the courses look pretty average too. Yeah.
What's that? Is it Wolf Creek or no? What was the one where they played out Vega and Nevada way, sort of? I can't remember.
I don't know. We had a look at the one in Trump's hotel. She was expensive.
Oh, yeah. Make golf great again. Anyway,
Yeah.
we got to get out of here before we break this machine.
Yeah.
Thanks to Searley for coming along, joining in again.
What are you doing this weekend? You always
You're always secretive as, eh? And then everyone sends me photos of you on Courtney Place, and I'm just like, oh, here he is.
Yeah, that's AI. I'm doing nothing this weekend. I'm going to have a nice break. Oh, yeah, because I'm going on holiday next week.
Oh, so you're not on?
So you're away.
Oh, no, Wednesday.
Yeah,
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, heading down to Christchurch, play 4 rounds of golf.
There it is.
And then come back. So, but we will all be back.
Where you play?
Make golf great again.
Terrace Downs, Pegasus, Clearwater.
Oh.
And one other course. I can't remember.
Must be nice.
Crusaders have the bye too. Are you going down there just to show them a few things?
I'll take
Trusted advisor.
I'll take the gear with me. We'll do it live from down there.
Yeah.
While
HQ.
you're around on the golf cart.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, that's X-rated. Anyway, thanks for listening. We'll be back again next. We will all be back again next week
Yeah.
for another edition of the Pick and Go podcast. We hope to see you again then.